Another Blizzard 4chan leak, bleak if true. Overwatch 2 is undergoing a hasty redesign behind the scenes, relaunching as Overwatch Next. And essentially, Overwatch 1 is trying to undo the damage. Diablo 4 has lost most of its original development staff. Thank God. And the seasonal team is taking over and working on an expansion to act as a soft reboot. Good. Yeah, that's what they should do. Get rid of the people that fucked up. Dragonflight is the remains of a canceled mobile game co-produced with the Chinese partners that was bolted into World of Warcraft to pad a massive gap after the catastrophic response to patch 9.1. This lead to a ship and tone the players have noticed and found off-putting. 11.0 is going to be announced at BlizzCon with a shift to a free-to-play seasonal battle pass model similar to Destiny, with smaller-scale micro-expansions sold as optional premium DLC that will include elements like new dungeons that require these DLC packs to access. I think that if they do that, they're probably going to end up actually unironically killing the game. I do. Like, I have no problem with them making it free to play with the seasonal battle pass that you have to buy. Like, I don't really think that's gonna, that would not ruin the game for me. Like, any more than, like, the way that I look at it is that I think WoW already, like, the integrity of the game has been destroyed with the WoW token. Like, any integrity and any value and any accomplishment in the game was destroyed the moment that they allowed you to buy gold. Because you can just buy gold and get anything that you want in the game, and it's completely legal, and that's it. So, like, I don't really care about this. Is this going to make the game any more, is this going to remove any more integrity? Well, it never had any to begin with. So what's the problem? How do people not boycott the game? Well, because gamers have no self-control. Yeah, that's all there is to it. So, sorry I can't play Dungeon X, I don't have the DLC for it. Yeah, exactly. I think if they try to have people buy, like, a bunch of micro DLCs, the reason why WoW is successful is because people are, like, very invested already into it, and there are very rarely times that you have to, like, redo that investment. Like, you buy an expansion, what, every 2 years, something like that? Asking people to buy, like, a regular battle pass all the time is going to be, that's going to get a lot of people to stop playing. Because another issue with WoW, and this is like a cultural problem, is that WoW is a game that is full of a bunch of boomers that don't like new video games. World of Warcraft has been around since 2004, and some people have played it since then. So if you add in a battle pass, which is like one of the definitive characteristics of new age gaming, and the truth is, like, the trading post is a battle pass, right? But because you're not buying it, because it's not really a battle pass, people don't see it the same way. And guess what? People are going to be pissed off about a battle pass. Like, think about how many of them got mad about being able to buy Trader's Tender. It was just so crazy. I think if they make the game free to play with the seasonal battle pass, I don't really think that's like a horrible thing for the game. I really don't. Like, because all of the things that a sub is supposed to avoid, right? So paying a subscription to a game, the idea with paying a subscription to the game, this is my opinion, is that you pay the sub so the game doesn't have weird pay-to-win stuff, right? Like, you pay for the game so you have to earn the things in the game, rather than if it's a free game and then you have to buy them, right? But World of Warcraft has their cake and they eat it too. So they make you pay a sub and you can still buy the best mounts on the store. They have a sub and you can still buy gold. What the fuck? You can still buy level boosts. So you're effectively paying for nothing. The overall balance is so much better in older games because they kept it easy and simple. Do you want to know why the balance of rewards and everything is better in older games? Is because you think the balance is broken, but you don't have the same goal as the developer. And that's really what the issue with some of these live service games is that the goal of these live service games is to keep the player on the treadmill, keep the player on the hamster wheel as long as possible, and to make farming an item very annoying and obnoxious so they spend money to get around it. So the reason why balance in these games is bad is because it's made to be bad. They want the balance to be bad. because if the balance is bad, that means people spend money to make it good. That's why, like, for example, in Honkai Star Rail and all these other gacha games, like, do you really think a game that's not like Honkai Star Rail, like Elden Ring, Lies of P has that stupid fucking fruit thing, but otherwise, like Baldur's Gate 3, from my understanding, I haven't played it, Blasphemous, like many single-player games that aren't live service games, like Code Vein, Fall Guys, Halls of Torment, this kind of stuff, there aren't these massive time gates. They don't exist because they don't need to exist. Because they only exist, like they're basically putting ankle weights around you and then telling you that you have to pay every day to remove the ankle weights. Isn't it so companies don't care about real gamers because real gamers don't spend as much money as someone who plays it casually? No, it's because real gamers spend more. And like, if you go back to, remember that presentation that we watched about, like, Let's Go Whaling and all that stuff? That said explicitly, and I think it's true, that the most people pay for microtransactions to save time. Like, they are efficiency-based microtransactions, like getting more Una's tasks in Lost Ark, the auto-completes, getting more energy in Honkai Star Rail, right? Like, that's the kind of stuff that people really spend money on. So I think that actual gamers spend a lot of money and stuff like, yeah, bag space, yeah. So yeah, I mean, WoW has all this stuff, and you still have to pay a sub? I don't know. I mean, cry me a fucking river if you want to make it free to play. As I said, the integrity for this game went out the window the moment they let you buy gold. And any game that lets you buy gold, I don't really have like a very high respect for accomplishments inside of the game. And like, of course, you know, it's not it's not true entirely, right? I mean, like, being a rank 1 gladiator is impressive, right? But like, having a lot of money or having something you can just get with money, that's whatever. Odyssey has been revamped for the 3rd time, will not be ready for multiple years. Worries that its survival crafting focus is already going to be outdated by the time that it releases. Well, I think this is actually a really good point that this person brings up. I think maybe inadvertently. And it's a big problem that AAA games have, is that AAA games have a life cycle and like a development cycle that is so long that they are unable to accurately respond to a market. The ways that like some companies get around this, like, for example, like Grand Theft Auto 6, I bet Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be insanely fucking good. You know why? Because they know what people want and people are going to just wait until it's there. Like, that's it. But like games that are trying to like capitalize on a genre, like Battle Royale or, you know, survival games, by the time that these games come out, a lot of the like little nuances of design have completely changed in the player's mind. Survival's not outdated, but there are certain things I think in survival that kind of are outdated. Like, for example, I think that a lot of players are, and this is a vibe check. I'm not really like I don't have like a fucking study for this, but I think that players are probably a little bit more annoyed by like having to sleep in games, like getting tired in games. I think there are certain types of just kind of like time waste mechanisms that kind of just waste your time, even in survival games. So it's like, and I'm again, like, there are some people that don't feel this way. It's totally fine. But what I'm saying is that I think that there has been a bit of a shift. And AAA game studios aren't able to, it's like, you know, for example, if you're, I mean, obviously you freeze to death, but like, there's no way a canoe would have hit, or a Viking longboat would have hit the iceberg that the Titanic did, right? Because they would have just been like, oh, wow, well, let's turn around. Because they can easily turn it around. It's not a big deal. But a big ship like that can't turn as fast. That's just how it is. So, yeah, I think that's another big problem, is that these games are so big and there's so much money invested into them that they can't adapt to the market as fast as the market changes. Hearthstone is at the lowest engagement metrics it's ever been at. Attempts to increase monetization per player have failed, and it's considered on its last legs. Diablo Immortal. Oh, I love this. The light in the darkness is Diablo Immortal. is extremely profitable, and its user-based retention has far exceeded expectations. I believe that. I do. I believe it. The hero and savior of Blizzard Entertainment, Diablo Immortal. Can you check how much money Diablo Immortal made? Yeah, sure. How much money does Diablo Immortal make a month? Let's see here. Diablo Immortal supposedly made Activision Blizzard $2 million a day. The mobile gamers are not here reading this. They are living life, having fun, buying powers on their lunch break, and they don't care about games like you do. Meth addicts are having fun too. Yeah, mobile gaming, this is, and this is why, this is why so many games are trying to get a normie audience. Because a normie audience doesn't care about all of these like weird, like line in the sand issues that gamers care about. Like gamers care about de novo, gamers care about early access, gamers care about pay to win. Sports enjoyers, average, did you see the game last week? Havers, you know, the Bills, the Teds, the Davids out there that are just, you know, fucking 37 and they, you know, I used to play Diablo, it's on the phone now? That's crazy. What's this about? You know, 800% value, that's a lot. Wow. Well, I guess I should buy this then, right? Yeah, the Star Wars Andes. Yeah, they've got 17 Funko Pops at home. They watched The Big Bang Theory. They heard about Diablo 4 from a commercial in between a sports game that they were watching. And they can play it for a few hours a week whenever the wife doesn't want them to do something. And these guys here don't care about early access. They don't even know what it is. They're like, what do you mean early access? Like, oh, cool. So we can play the game early? Oh, that's awesome. What do you mean people are mad about that? What are they, stupid? Yeah, what do you mean? And so that's why so many of these games, they try to appeal to these like super omega normies, right? Because they're a much easier community to please. I think the issue though is normies, that they're very short term. They don't stick around very long term. I think only investors want normies. Okay, so like if you're right. Whenever Honkai Impact 3rd came around, like, are people still playing Honkai Impact 3rd? No, but they're playing Genshin Impact. And then Honkai Star Rail comes out, and they're playing Star Rail. So you're right, but you have to keep them on. You keep them on the carousel. It doesn't mean that they're always on the exact same ride, but they're on the carousel. You know, whether they're riding the unicorn or, you know, the zebra or the giraffe, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because you got their quarter anyway. So yeah, they're just going to go, yeah, keep them on the treadmill. Yep, it doesn't matter. It's that simple. Honkai's still huge. Yeah, but it's nothing like what it was. Seems like everybody's a gamer nowadays. You're right. Remember the Warcraft mobile game? Oh, I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it for sure. We're going to spend like, my goal with the Warcraft mobile game is to spend 1,000... I don't know, like, it depends on how popular the content is. If the content's very popular, then it'll be spend $10,000. But, like, if I'm not going to make that money back, then who gives a fuck, right? Like, the goal with the game will not be to beat the game. It won't be to have fun. It will be to spend $1,000. How fast can I get onto this game and spend $1,000? And I'll have, like, a, you know what I'll do? I'll make, like, a little altar, and every time I'll have like an altar with like a laminated picture of Bobby Kotick, and I will put a $20 bill every time that I spend money as like an offering to the altar. I think that's actually a really good idea. I should probably do that. Maybe, you know what I could do? I wonder if I could get it laser engraved into like a piece of wood, because I wouldn't want to have it be plastic, because then it would like smell bad, right? What's the rest of these? Microsoft expressed interest once the merger goes through to break up Blizzard as a singular entity and distribute its IPs amongst their studios while closing and reallocating the billions of dollars in Californian real estate the company's been sitting on, while trying to force a return to office policy to make them look like they are still needed. Well, I mean, again, most places have been forcing a return to work policy for a long period of time. Like, I think mandatory return to work for a lot of places has been going on for over 6 months. So, like, obviously the Blizzard employees were very upset about this, but Riot has the same rules and many other people have. It's like 50-50 still? Yeah, no, but, like, they were upset about 50-50, is what I mean. It seems to me like Blizzard is, like, maybe this is, like, a macro doomer opinion, but, like, if Blizzard doesn't have something cool this BlizzCon, I would say, yeah, maybe they shouldn't exist the way they do. Because it's very clear that, like, you failed with StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2 is a dead franchise. They've totally failed with Diablo 4. I think they are just slowly losing ground and relevance with World of Warcraft. People don't even care enough about the game to complain about it anymore. Heroes of the Storm, they literally announced they failed at it. Overwatch is like... It's probably even a bigger meme than Diablo 4. Like, basically every single one of their IPs they failed at. So, like, how can you have a company that's apparently failed with all of these games and Microsoft buys them and they're like, oh, okay, this is good. Keep doing what you're doing. Like, if you were Microsoft, would you do that? Absolutely not. What about Warzone? I'm talking about Blizzard, not Activision. It's impressive. It is. Overwatch 2 is such a tragedy. It is. It's so sad. Yeah, it is. It's really just sad. Don't they have adequate resources to develop Overwatch 2 into a full-fledged game? Bro, they don't even have adequate resources to make stash tabs for Diablo 4. The problem is that, like, I wonder what would happen if somebody like Elon Musk took over Blizzard and did the patented fire 80% of the people strategy. Do you think that we would notice? I wonder. Right? I do. I wonder. Because it's like, how can you have so many people working on a video game and you're seemingly unable to produce anything, like, better than, like, PoE? It's like, imagine literally billions of dollars and you get beat by some Kiwis. Some hobbits and Kiwis. It's pathetic. It's fucking pathetic. What is this? How does this happen? Dude, Team Fortress 2 has been out for how many years? And it's probably going to have more players than Overwatch 2. Or at least on Steam. Probably because they put 6% of their budget into marketing instead of game development. Well, I mean, I don't know. If they put 40% of their budget into game development, it should be a lot better than how it is. So, let's see here. WoW Classic has, I'm assuming this is more players than retail World of Warcraft right now. Cataclysm Classic is not in the works. Good. And I'm really glad to see that. WoW Classic has more players than retail WoW. Do you know why? It's because WoW Classic is a better game. It's a better MMO. Straight up. And it doesn't matter about, like, how many quality of life features and things like that. Like, because WoW Classic has a lot of things that, like, I would want to change. And there are things like, I could talk, like, for fucking hours about, like, things like little things like, oh yeah, I wish this wasn't like this or whatever. But it also had these things that were, like, you can mind control the mobs in, like, UBRS or LBRS and cast, like, a fire resistant spell on people to do Molten Core. Like, that's the good stuff that WoW Classic has. And that's just, like, and also it's a really easy game. And it's, again, like, guess what? Blizzard hired a bunch of no-lifers that played World of Warcraft all the time that were high-end raiders, and they made the game all about no-lifers and high-end raiders. Meanwhile, most of the people that play WoW are brain-dead boomers that are barely alive. Like, it's the same problem that Lost Ark has. Like, yeah, obviously the new Thamine raid is popular. People are going to want to see that. But nobody's going to clear this shit. They're going to have to nerf it like 10 times, probably. Because nobody's going to want to do it. It's the same problem with Belshazzar. Like, let's see here. Where's World of Warcraft? I must have skipped it. There it is. Like, everybody here is just watching Classic WoW. Why are there this many people watching Classic WoW? It's because it's a better game. The reason why Hardcore WoW is really popular, and also, like, if they do a new season of Mastery, people are going to watch that too. People are going to do that too. And also, people are interested in watching content that they can understand. What the fuck is going on here? And, like, I know what's going on. I play the game and he's playing my main class. I know exactly what's happening, right? Well, not exactly, but I have a general idea. Like, there's too much going on. There's too much happening. There's numbers everywhere. It's constant stress fest, super high intensity. If you stop paying attention for like 1 minute, you're going to die. Meanwhile, you've got this one right here, and there's one mob. And you're casting lightning bolts at the mob, and then whenever you have a crit, you can see the mob's health go down. And there's not a lot of stuff going on. It's just really fucking simple. It's really simple, and it's easy to understand. 2 guys are here. Okay? Oh, bro, why the fuck did you jump that way? Bro, it would have stressed me out. So yeah, it's just way more clean, exactly. And that's... like, it's just easier to watch. Like, what? Oh my god. Look at this. This is crazy. It's insane. Who wants to play this? And there's no, I mean, like, this guy's doing what he wants to do, right? Good for him. Like, I don't want to shit on this guy. He's doing what he enjoys. But, like, it makes sense that something like this is a lot simpler. And it's a lot more enjoyable because, like, being able to play a game at this level is really hard. Meanwhile, you can play this game, and it's really easy, and it's just fun. That's it. It's just fun. Yeah, that's why Classic is so successful. Like, whenever I think about going back to play WoW, like, sometimes I think about playing retail again, and I probably will go back to play WoW, and whenever I do, I'll play retail. But I really am looking forward to a season of Mastery 2. Like, I really want to play, like, Classic again. I'm not really that interested in Hardcore for a lot of reasons. But, like, I want to play a new version of Classic. You know, I want to go back to Azeroth, right? Go back to the, you know, the world. And just, like, the environment, the people, and everything. It was so great, man. I don't know, like, maybe that sounds like stupid, but that's how I feel. Used to be fun, yeah, and I think that's really the difference, right? WoW now is hard, whereas before it used to be fun. Would you like if they added more, like, mechanics to pre-existing bosses? No, because that's not what people want. Like, stop trying to make the game for tryhards. Stop it. Nobody wants to play that game. That's why, like, stop making the game hard. Why? Like, I can beat it. It's not a big deal. I can beat the game. Sure, I can beat it. It's no big deal. But, like, what the fuck? Is it going to be fun? Am I going to enjoy myself doing it? Not really. No, it's not fun to do. What makes you think current Blizzard can iterate successfully on Classic? Well, I mean, if you want me to be honest, I think that, I mean, besides the WoW token was a very bad decision. But I'm going to say it. I think that every decision that they made with Wrath of the Lich King was a good decision. I think Blizzard had unironically made S-tier decisions with Wrath of the Lich King. I think it was incredibly well designed how they handled Ulduar. Sorry, but Classic WoW is so boring. There's many people think this way and prefer the pace and gameplay of retail. Well, if so many people prefer it, then where are they? Then where are they? Like, this is very simple. You see, obviously, a depressed man living in his basement in, like, the Balkans or somewhere. I don't know where Joker lives now. Playing World of Warcraft. Right? Everybody can understand this. There's nothing crazy. There's nothing unique here. It's very simple. It's understandable. And the game is very simple. And that's why people appreciate it. That's what matters. It's relatable. It's understandable. You can follow along. Like, a person who hasn't played the game can understand what's happening in WoW Classic. A person who doesn't play the game cannot understand what's happening in WoW Retail. It's actually one of the reasons why my streams for Retail WoW were very successful, because I knew that, and that's why I only farmed mounts and I did like meta level stuff, because I knew nobody actually gave a fuck about the gameplay, because the gameplay was totally it was like it was illegible to like a normal person. I think that probably Retail, the new WoW expansion, whatever it's going to be, is going to have more players than what's people playing Classic right now. But I think it's like an OSRS situation where if they invested into Classic and they started trying to make Classic as good as it could be, I think that the ceiling for that is infinitely higher than trying to rehash the same, oh, there's going to be 8 dungeons, and each dungeon's going to have 4 bosses, and there's going to be 2 mechanics, and then there's going to be 100% trash mobs that you have to do inside of the dungeon. And this is the 17th season of the same thing. Have fun. Get the fuck out of here.